The Golden Bachelorette. 8 signs Chock Chapple is perfect for Joan Vassos. Their family troubles are behind them. January 10, 2025. Hello, Bachelor Nation news fans. Welcome back to the channel. Though the Golden Bachelorette's Chock Chapple has been criticized by some Bachelor Nation fans, he's actually the ideal man for Joan Vassos. Before the Bachelor franchise came knocking on her door, 61-year-old Joan was living her life in relative obscurity. In 2021, she buried her beloved husband, Joan Vassos, and found herself all alone. The two were married for 32 years and had 4 children together. With her 4 children all grown up and living their own lives, Joan reluctantly re-entered the dating pool. She made her television debut in The Golden Bachelor Season 1, but left early due to a family emergency. Though she thought her Bachelor journey was over, it was just getting started. Joan was cast as the Bachelor spin-off's first female lead, and she kicked off the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 standing outside the iconic Los Angeles mansion, greeting a fleet of limousines. Among the 24 single golden men Joan met that night was Chock, an insurance executive and business owner from Kansas. After an emotionally charged season of ups and downs, Joan gave her final rose to Chock, who immediately knelt down on one knee and proposed to Joan with a sparkling engagement ring. Since leaving the show, Joan and Chock have been blissfully happy. Though some fans have criticized Chock for various reasons, here are 8 reasons that Chock is actually Joan's perfect match. 8. Chock fought for Joan. Joan liked the Golden Bachelorette's Chock Chapple, 61, right away, and he even got her first solo date, which was a dream date to Disneyland. Their next date was decidedly less magical. During an episode of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan took several of the men on a group date to a bowling alley. Most of the men had a great time, but it was clear Chock didn't like having to share Joan with the other men. Chock probably got used to having Joan all to himself at the Magic Kingdom. Chock wasn't accustomed to being in a group date setting, and it showed. He spent the entire date sitting close to Joan, with an arm around her. It was disrespectful to the other men, but Chock didn't seem to notice or care. All he cared about was Joan. As for Joan, she didn't ask Chock to back off, and she seemed to like his possessive behavior. It seemed to make her feel special and wanted. Some may find Chock's behavior to be a red flag, but that level of devotion is exactly what Joan was looking for. Joan and Chock have so much in common, and their commitment to family is one of their most cherished shared values. During the Golden Bachelor Season 1, Joan was really starting to hit it off with the Golden Bachelorette's Jerry Turner, 73, when she got a troubling phone call from home. Her daughter had just given birth and was dealing with postpartum issues. Though Joan had a real shot at Jerry's heart, she put her family first and left the season early to be with her daughter. History repeated itself during the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, when Chock received his own troubling call from home. His elderly mother passed away while he was filming Joan's season. He tearfully bid Joan farewell and flew home to Kansas to bury his mother and be with his family. Joan was devastated, not knowing if Chock would come back. Chock returned by the end of the same episode because he wouldn't let anything stand between him and Joan. 6. Chock's willing to wait for Joan. It was a surprise when Joan accepted Chock's proposal during the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, because she had indicated she had no intention of getting married at the end of her season. Before the season started filming, Joan was interviewed by CNN, where she said she wouldn't be rushing into marriage. She went on to explain that she would need more time to get to know someone before entering into a serious commitment. Joan's reluctance went out the window when Chock got down on one knee and pulled out a sparkling diamond ring. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1 ended with Joan enthusiastically accepting Chock's proposal as he got down on one knee and slipped the ring on her finger. The fact that Chock is willing to wait for Joan says a lot about how much he loves her. They say that love is patience, and Chock loves Joan enough to wait until she's ready to walk down the aisle. 5. Chock makes Joan happy. Chock has made Joan blissfully happy since getting engaged during the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 finale. The show filmed several months before airing, so Joan and Chock had to keep their relationship secret for a long time. Once they were able to go public with their relationship, they haven't kept their hands off each other. The day after Joan and Chock got engaged, US Weekly posted a photo shoot of Joan and Chock on Instagram, in which Joan and Chock celebrate their engagement. The footage features the beaming couple embracing and really enjoying their happy new lives together. The post's caption reads, "Love is golden." Joan and Chock are clearly on the path to their happy ending. 4. Chock loves Joan more than Jerry loved Theresa. At the end of the Golden Bachelor Season 1, Jerry gives his final rose to 70-year-old Theresa Nist. The couple got engaged, and hopes were high that they'd live happily ever after. A few short weeks after going public with their relationship, the septuagenarian couple were married in a star-studded Golden Bachelor wedding. ABC paid for the lavish wedding, and no expense was spared. Jerry and Theresa's relationship represented the hope of finding love later in life, so fans wanted to believe that they'd make it. Hopes were dashed when Jerry and Theresa announced their divorce after only 3 months of matrimony. The ill-advised marriage and rushed divorce damaged the reputation of the Golden Bachelor brand, but it had nothing to do with Joan and Chock. Though Jerry and Theresa seemed to like each other well enough, they never seemed very attracted to each other. While Chock couldn't keep his hands off Joan, Jerry always kept Theresa at a physical and emotional distance. Even photos in which they posed cheek to cheek feel forced. There's no question that Joan and Chock are way more into each other than Jerry and Theresa ever were. 3. Chock was Joan's best bet. Joan hit it off with several men during the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, but no one fell in love with her as deeply as Chock. Some of the other men liked Joan, but ended up disappointing her. One of the cruelest cuts was delivered by 69-year-old Pascal Igbue. The charming French salon owner made it to Joan's final 3 men, and she even met his friends and family during hometown dates. Things were going well until their overnight date, when Pascal panicked during a symbolic bonding ritual. The exercise made him question his feelings for Joan. In a dramatic scene posted to YouTube by Bachelor Nation, Pascal told her that he saw her as more of a friend than a lover, and then he eliminated himself from the Golden Bachelorette. 2. Chock's a devoted man. Like Joan, Chock knows what it's like to lose someone you love deeply. After divorcing Heather Chapple, his wife of 12 years and mother of his 2 children, Chock met Catherine Elizabeth White Gorey, and they were engaged for 9 years before Heather died in 2022. During an early episode of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan and Chock went on their first solo date, where he shared his story about losing Catherine. Joan and Chock's shared sense of loss really bonded them together. Chock is still close to his late fiancé's family. In fact, when Joan went to Kansas to meet Chock's friends and family, she got to meet Catherine's father, who was still close to Chock and the Chapple family. Chock is obviously a man who is deeply devoted to the people he loves. He's a great catch, and he and Joan make a great team. 1. Joan and Chock get along with each other's families. Since going public with their relationship, the Golden Bachelorette's Joan and Chock have been focused on blending their families. Joan has 4 adult children and Chock has 2 college-age children. Since their families are older, they don't have to live together, but they really want their families to get along and spend time together. Joan and Chock spent their first holidays together. Joan and Chock's families spent the holidays together, and everyone seemed to have a great time. They spent Thanksgiving at Joan's house in Maryland, then spent Christmas in Kansas with Chock. Joan and Chock posted holiday photos on Instagram, and they looked like a happy family hanging out in their matching Christmas pajamas. Since getting engaged on the Golden Bachelorette, Joan and Chock have been focused on getting to know each other better and blending their families. If all goes well, Bachelor Nation fans may have another Golden Bachelor wedding in their future.